Levi, you going for a belly rub? It's actually not your belly, it's your chest, isn't it?
Chest rub.
Oh, Mrs. jealous now. These are funny dogs, aren't they? How are you doing? I'm Martin from Gardens for Life, and I'm here in the garden on this wonderful autumn evening. It is almost winter and the summer is certainly over at this point. We have temperatures of 10 degrees now roughly, although today I'm getting away with a jumper and no jacket. We are going to do a quick tour of this garden. I'm barely able to even actually walk through here because the paths are quite covered now with productivity or productive plants. It's okay though, because I didn't really need to go through here. I didn't really need to do any weeding or any planting or watering here over the last 4 months. This garden was planted up in April and the one further on was planted up in May, and it has really come along. We have different types of rhubarb here. We have some oca, which is a tuberous oxalis. It's a nice plant which is available for the winter in November. Look at this Nero or Black Tuscany. That one stays really good quality through the winter months, so we don't have to actually store it. And I also grew some Swedes this year, just to see what they're like. That's them here. So apparently these store better than the turnip. We've never eaten Swedes before, so it's going to be a bit of a challenge or an experience, but I'm sure they'll be fine. I'm sure they'll be nice. And most importantly, they'll be fresh as well. So we'll just leave them here in situ until we're going to harvest them. Same as all the rest of the plants in this garden. We're not going to bother harvesting them and preserving them. We're just going to leave them out there. The best way to preserve your food is actually to store it alive. So we're just going to leave all of the kales, all the tubers and everything out here, except for the oca and the yacon, because those are not frost hardy. So we got to store those somewhere without frost. Here's the yacon flower now. It looks like a giant daisy. So we'll just take a look here. Those are the pumpkins as well. We've got pumpkins planted over here. There's so much to show you. And I'm trying to keep this video short. You can see them here. That's the Yoshiki Kori, almost ripe there. And this colour here, they'll be that colour when they're ripe. If you haven't seen our pumpkin video from 3 or 4 years ago, please take a look at it, because I grew 200 of these pumpkins with only 5 hours of work. See these? They're a nice size and they're really nice flavour, and they're quick to grow as well. They're only 90 days from seed to ripe fruit. We're also growing Turk's turban this year. Let me take a look here. We'll just walk over here. As you can see, the leaves of the pumpkins are definitely starting to thin out, so I guess we're done producing more weight in the pumpkins anyway. I'm going to leave them for another while. We've no frosts coming yet. Look at the beautiful leaves here. It is such a productive garden though. Let me just take you over here real quick. How are you doing, Levi? How are you? It's a good boy, aren't you? You're a good boy. You coming over here? Good. He's always fierce excited to follow us everywhere we go. Excuse me. Oh, take a look at these. That's Turk's turban, so it's a little bit of a different pumpkin. I've never grown these before, so it's going to be nice. There's a few pumpkins over here too, but we'll do a separate video on the pumpkins. Oh, let's just take a look here. How are we doing? Are you watering the plants?
Yeah.
Go on, so. It rained yesterday, sure. They still could do with a bit more. Good man yourself. All right. What you can see here, this garden is very productive, and I had to do very little for it. We're producing both cash crops here, like plants, and even cuttings, and food and medicine as well. These are the mashuas, the tuberous nasturtium. Those are sold out for this winter already. So I'm sorry to disappoint you if you were looking for some. We may have some more later in December, but for now they're all sold out anyway. See these here, that's fennel. It's going to seed. And if you'd like to see this garden from about a month ago, there's another video about that. Different tour. And things are coming along here too. It's an ocean of ochre and comfrey and yacon. And a few courgettes thrown in the middle. We're just letting these courgettes go. I just gave up trying to fight the fight of harvesting the courgettes on time. I just left them. They're going to go to seed and we can share the seeds at the next seed and plant swap. That's fine. Here's some comfrey cuttings that I planted directly in the ground only about 6 weeks ago, and you can see they're growing. They develop very quickly and the crowns develop much faster. These are crown pieces. They're growing very quick and they're doing very well. And also comfrey is sold out completely this year already for this winter anyway. These are the yacons. What do you think of the new garden? What do you think? Oh, good boy, Levi. The willows are starting to lose the leaves too here in the shelter belt beside the garden. So soon we'll be harvesting those too. There are still some of those available anyway. This is a curly variety of Portuguese kale. Some Chinese rhubarb here. Definitely the garden has been 4 to 6 weeks behind on a lot of stuff. Well, it doesn't bother us with our tuberous crops or our perennial crops here in the garden too. But definitely for things that go to fruit like the corn, it's not great. I'll show you one here because I know it's not going to ripen at this stage anyway. Hang on. Did I harvest that right? I have to use one hand. Quick tip on slugs, don't leave dead plant material around. They'll eat it, even if it's tough. Of course, you're attracting them then. It's just a giant baby corn, it's not really worthwhile. But we'll still eat it anyway. That's the chard. This year's chard actually going to seed. That probably won't go all the way, but I might just give that to the chickens because I'm not going to bother letting that go to seed here because otherwise we'll have chard everywhere, which is not a problem. But I would rather not. Beetroots are doing really well as well. Here's some beetroots. We have different varieties of beetroots like Chiogio and the Cylindra. Look at this Portuguese kale. Isn't it just incredible? So lush. Each of these plants has grown from seed this year. Look at that. It's massive. I mean, there's probably like a week worth of food here for a family, or a bit of leaf for the whole winter, a little bit of leaf every day for a soup or something like that, or even for the chickens. So it's nice to grow a little kale patch so that you'll have a bit of greens for the animals for the winter. They'll enjoy that and they'll definitely appreciate that, and they'll be very healthy. Some comfrey here. We also have some great mullein. Always a nice plant to have. We're harvesting the seeds of that, and as always we're sending out great mullein seeds with every order this winter. And we always like to give everyone great mullein seeds, anyone we meet really, at least people who are into gardening anyway. And that's a Irish wildflower or European wildflower, and it's also very useful as a medicinal herb as well. So the great mullein is always worth having, and it spreads by itself, so it's actually a good plant to have in your garden. It's great for the insects as well. It flowers for a very long period of time, something like 3 months I think. Let's take a look at this area here. We got kohlrabis here as well. That's super schmelz. Willows are doing well. There's horseradish. We definitely still have horseradish if you're interested. Take a look at our online shop. This path is relatively new. We made it nice and wide so the dogs can walk. They don't go in the gardens, they just know not to cross this line. It's not electrified, this cable here, but they know not to go in. You can see here. And if they ever do, I just go and then they come out. They know not to go there. Look at all these plants here. Some mixed colour oriental poppies and giant fuchsia. This is new too. Could anybody tell me what plant that is? I'd appreciate that. Is it gazania or something like that? I'm not sure. This is actually a willow. That's kami willow. That's a special one. But the purple flowers are not a part of the willow. This is the purple tree spinach. Planted a little late, and that's why it's only small. Again, this is all mashuas here. Definitely a very big kohlrabi here. They're really nice. I might actually harvest one of those and eat those eat one for dinner. You can see here the wood chips are doing well. They're still very dry actually. They're easy to move. So once they get soaked with water, they're harder to move, of course. Makes them heavier. This is already part of the other garden. So that's the new garden. That is the new garden as far as the eye can see. I'm very happy with that. That took about, let me think now, I think it was about 5 or 6 loads of compost now. Actually 7 15 tons of compost. So about 100 tons of compost to make this garden, but it is so productive. And I'm sure it's only going to get even better next year because the worms will have improved the compost. And the local ecosystem really appreciates that boost of fertility. And especially the insects, they love all the comfrey that we're planting here and various different plants. There's a few bees over here actually in the comfrey. I wonder, do the courgettes cross-pollinate with the pumpkin and contaminate the seeds? If you could let me know in the comments, that would be very helpful. This area here is not quite finished, but we have a plan to get that done too. Look at the size of this yacon plant. We're going to have a great yacon harvest this year. Soft. I hope you enjoyed that little video, and if you'd like to support us, you can buy plants or cuttings on our online shop, or some of the tuberous perennial vegetables as well. And if you are interested in joining our membership, you can do so on our YouTube channel, on our website, or on Patreon as well. And we'd highly appreciate your support, and you get many benefits as well, such as a big discount, and you get access to our online no-dig course completely for free. And a few ebooks as well, and some other benefits come with that also. Thank you, and I'll see you the next time. Bye bye.